Well, hey guys, it's Spiffyguy, and I'm out here doing a little fishing at Bush Wildlife. And I figured I'd chat with you a little bit about the bag that I got on my side. Now, it might look familiar. That's the Pathfinder Bottle Bag, but the big difference is this is the Gen 2 bag. And what that means is it's bigger. It's designed to go along with the Pathfinder 64-ounce water bottle. And so it fits a little bit better. It's easier to get the cup out of and the stove out of the bottom. And so in general, it's more better. So the fish aren't really biting. So let's go set it up on the shore and we'll take a look and compare it to the Gen 1. Okay guys, here they are right next to each other for a size comparison. We have the Gen 1 over here and the Gen 2 over here. Disregard the Maxpedition dump pouch. That was holding my lunch because I was fairly certain I wasn't going to catch any fish. So if you want to talk a dimension, this is going to be your 10 by 4 and this will be your 12 by 6. That's kind of the standard that Maxpedition uses. Condor also makes a 10 by 4, which I own. And the issues that you have is trying to get that cup and the stove out from the bottom. They're a real tight fit and it's just a pain, and I wanted to upgrade and make that a little bit easier, so that's what I did. So a little side comparison here. You can see once again there's a bottle in there, but you definitely get a lot more width and height out of this thing. One of the bonuses of having this a little wider, and I don't know how that would work with the 64 ounce, but with the 32 ounce bottle, it doesn't press into your front pocket as much. So you're able to put stuff in your front pocket and not have that bottle push out into it. As far as material differences between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2, I think that the webbing that they use is a little bit thinner of a gauge. It just doesn't seem as stiff as the Gen 1, in particular on the back here. And if we undo these little snaps here, you can kind of see that as a standard, these units, they use the snap, and they're a little difficult to undo. They use the snap and this attached webbing with plastic. Now, one of the things I noticed was the plastic was shorter on the Gen 2, which was a bit of a disappointment. I would have liked to seen the plastic come all the way up here. It adds a bit of rigidity to your strapping to a pack or something like that, and it just helps out feeding it through. And as a consequence, you end up with more of this this loose material than you would on the Gen 1. So that was one thing that I wasn't entirely thrilled about. The buckles, or I'm sorry, the D-rings on the side seem to be about the same gauge. And you can really fit a lot into this front pocket here. I've got water treatment, I've got ferro rod, I've got some YZ wipes, and my spoon, and there's plenty of more room for other things. So let's go ahead and open it up real quick. Okay, so another quick change that they made, which is mainly just cosmetic, is the logo is smaller on the Gen 2, and I don't even know if you can pick that up on the camera, but it is a tan color that matches up to the tan of the fabric itself. So it doesn't stand out as much as it does on the Gen 1. On the interior, and you can disregard this little bottle or this little lid mod. I'm going to go ahead, and I did a video on this once already, and I'll be doing a sort of a very detailed how-to as I do it on the new bag. I really find that this lid mod is pretty awesome, and you can get a lot of stuff in there. The fabric on the interior of the Gen 1 is this sort of rubberized material, and as we pull out our bottle, and you can see how easy the cup comes out now. And what I do is I just, to keep it from rattling, because it is a little bit larger, to keep the cup and the stove from rattling, I just put a couple little ends of that bandana in there, and then the rest of the bandana just goes underneath. There's plenty enough room from there, and it's always useful to have a bandana for whatever you're doing. You can clean your pot out. You could use this, for whatever, first aid, So it's always useful, good to have there. And then I also have at the bottom there a little Trangia. I like to keep it in a little sandwich bag just in case it leaks. So we take a look on the interior of this bag. Let me get all this stuff out of here. And we take a look on the interior. We have the same sort of rubberized material that we do on this one here. The lid is nice and thick and ample, same as that one. We shouldn't have any issues modding that out as well. And you do have the grommet at the bottom there. So really, all in all, an ease of getting all this material back in there. We can easily just wad up the bandana there and stick it in, and it really just slides right down in there, and you're good to go. And you still have plenty of room. I could put you know, another stove up on top if I wanted to. I could nest another cup on there. I still have plenty of room with this 32-ounce bottle. Now, if you had a 64, you may not have as much room, and you may have to make some sort of adjustment there. Okay, so one of the other huge differences between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 is the strap system. They do both provide you with a shoulder strap, which is a nice feature that the Condor didn't have. Now, on the Gen 1, we're looking at a 1-inch webbing with just a sort of simple buckle here. Once again, the D-rings are the same. Now on the Gen 2, they've added in a more robust buckle system in order to deal with that extra weight of the 64-ounce. They also added in a pad. And so this pad is real nice. Obviously the webbing here is probably 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches? 1.5 inches. My American metric. There you go. Another nice feature is it has very simple Velcro connection, so you could remove the pad if you wanted to and put on a different pad as well. And I think that this really makes a huge difference if you're going to be using this as sort of a single item, as a over-the-shoulder carry. You know, if you're going out hunting, hiking, you just want to create a small compact kit. This extra pad here and the addition of the wider strap, I think, is going to reduce a lot of shoulder strain. So it's definitely a worthwhile investment. If you have the Gen 1, you may or may not want to upgrade. That's kind of up to you. If you have the cash, I would recommend it. I'm very happy. The stove and that really goes in easily in the Gen 2 bag, and it's a lot more difficult in the Gen 1. That's not to say that the Gen 1 is a bad bag. It's just a little tougher to get in and out. Essentially, the function is the same, and you could easily make yourself a padded shoulder pad for that strap if you wanted to. So there you go. There's just a quick look at the difference between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 Pathfinder Bottle Bag. I really like this system, and whether you use a Condor or Maxpedition or whatever, these kits are a real nice kind of all self-contained unit. You could leave it in the car and that sort of thing, so it's definitely worth checking out. Okay, so just remember, until the next time, that life is an adventure. Go out and have one with your bottle bag kit. Let's see if we can catch some fish.